Hi there! In this video, you'll get to enjoy a compilation of my previous videos featuring 44 completed manhwas that you're sure to love. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with other fans. Without further ado, let's get started. 1. It's been a while since the original was completed. Elena Taylor, once the villainess of a story, cuts all ties with her past and opens a love consultation agency. Living her new life, she faces an impossible request: make Hugh, a love-averse side character, debut in society. Can Elena pull it off and find her happiness? It is a witty and romantic comedy full of surprises. 2. The reason for being a villainess. Lessian Hussernian, the protagonist of a fantasy novel, endured betrayals and punishments that turned her cruel, leading to a tragic end. Now, a South Korean office worker wakes up in her body. Can she rewrite Lesion's fate and live peacefully? A gripping manhwa about redemption and second chances. 3. I Have No Health. Waking up as Nina, the frailest character, doomed to die when winter comes, is no picnic. Barely able to walk or eat, and dodging her grandfather's assassination attempts, Nina vows to regain her strength. With Kaiser, her cold but protective guardian, by her side, can she survive? An inspiring story of resilience and determination. 4. The Emperor's Proposal. A broken engagement and a few too many drinks lead Penelope Zakalian to a life-changing mistake: waking up in the Emperor's bed. He falls head over heels, but Penelope, scarred from a past relationship, wants nothing to do with him. Can the Emperor win her heart? A passionate romance with humor and drama. 5. The Hero Gets in My Way. Reincarnated into a novel, our heroine plans an easy life as the villain's fiancé. But saving the young male lead throws her plans into chaos. "You're the most beautiful person in the world," he says, derailing her dreams of peace. Can she escape his charm? A fun and chaotic manhwa with a surprising twist. 6. Marilyn loves Larienza so much. Possessed as Marilyn, the best friend of heroine Larienza, our protagonist vows to protect her from the obsessive male lead, Sibyl. But he shocks her by saying, "I'm not interested in Larienza. I'm interested in you, Marilyn." What's going on? A delightful romance packed with misunderstandings and humor. 7. My Husband Hides His Beauty. Letitia, married to Erden, the Lord of Halstead, rumored to be a hideous monster behind a mask, is pitted by all. But the secret? Erden is stunningly handsome. When he suggests divorce to protect her, Letitia burns the papers. Divorce a husband this gorgeous? No way. A charming manhwa about love and hidden beauty. 8. From villainess to heroine. Minju, bullied by Suyin, reincarnates as Dahlia, the villainess, while Suyin becomes Flor, the heroine of the novel. Seeking revenge, Minju allies with Archduke Johann to change her fate. But revenge is never straightforward. A thrilling manhwa about rivalry and redemption. 9. Crimson Karma. Kashir Roman, a trained assassin stripped of emotions, lived as a tool until betrayal ended her life. Now, she awakens on a battlefield in a strange world. Can she find a new purpose, or will she remain a weapon? A dark and powerful story of identity and survival. 10. I'm engaged to an obsessive male lead. Valen Orlando realizes she's a side character in a BL novel, fated to die in a year. To escape her abusive family, she enters a contract engagement with Gellard, the male lead who prefers men, thinking it's safe. But as Gellard falls for her, can Valen navigate her growing feelings and her doomed fate? An intense romance with unexpected twists. 11. A Red Knight does not blindly follow money. Judith, the Imperial Knight, was once a mercenary who'd do anything for cash. She lived as a pawn of the Imperial family, hiding behind poverty to justify her actions, until betrayal and death struck. Now, thrown back 6 years into the past, she vows to stop chasing money. But it's not easy. The commander of the Red Knights and even the Empire itself tempt her with gold and promises. Can Judith stay true to herself and live without regrets? a gripping tale of redemption and tough choices. 12. Captain. Is this battlefield here? Lee Yuna, an elite special forces captain with no time for romance, wakes up in a romantic fantasy novel as Rosalie, a minor character doomed to a miserable life. Treating this world like a battlefield, she sets out to change her fate. With her military charisma, she wins over the Duke's family, but to her shock, the male lead kneels before her, not the heroine. Can this captain conquer both love and survival? Expect action, romance, and a fierce protagonist. 13. Insanely Radiant. Radiana, offered as a sacrifice to the Solar Prince Horatio, will do anything to survive, even if it means resisting his bed. Horatio, tired of human sacrifices and gifted with mind reading, is stunned when Radiana meets his gaze without bursting into flames. Intrigued, he offers her a chance to live if she spends a passionate night with him. But dark forces are plotting to tear them apart. Will they realize they're meant for each other before it's too late? A fiery romance with fantasy and danger. 14. Divorcing My Tyrant Husband. Possessed as a secondary queen in a romantic novel, our heroine knows she's fated to be dethroned and die of illness. To escape this, she decides to play the villain, wrecking the Empire's bank, insulting everyone, and even harassing her emperor husband. But the worse she acts, the more he chases her. Is he a masochist, or is something else going on? A hilarious and romantic story with unexpected twists. 15. How to Tame the Merciless Villain. Transmigrated into a novel as a side character doomed to die at the hands of Kian, the main villain, our protagonist has a plan to pamper and care for Kian to prevent him from turning evil. But after rescuing him from a slave market, Kian becomes obsessed with her. Can she change both their fates, or will they spiral into chaos? A heartfelt manhwa packed with emotion and suspense. 16. I Didn't Mean to Seduce the Male Lead. Eleanor, portrayed as a baroness with just 4 lines in the original novel, rises to become a high society star. Her goal? Help the male lead, Ryan, fall for the princess as the story intends. But after a night of drinks, Ryan confesses he's fallen for her instead. How will Eleanor handle this scandal? A bittersweet romance filled with humor and drama. 17. I Left the Time-Limited Villainous Duke Without Saving Him. Betty, reincarnated as a maid in a dark novel, wants nothing to do with the original story, especially not the villainous Duke Bernhard Riel, destined to destroy the world. But her attempts to escape only draw his obsessive attention. Can Betty avoid the story's tragic ending? A thrilling manhwa with intrigue and a villain you won't forget. 18. Tyrant Wants to Live Kindly. Dorothy, once despised and driven to murder her brother to become a tyrannical empress, was executed for her crimes. Now, back in her childhood, she's determined to live honestly and avoid past mistakes. But changing fate is never simple, and her path to redemption is full of challenges. A moving story about second chances and self-discovery. 19. Mokran. On an island at peace for 200 years, the arrival of the Fiend Blood Warriors shatters everything. Mokran must choose: reject the love of Eanying, the chief's son, or marry him for her people's sake. Can love overcome the boundaries of war? A manhwa blending romance, sacrifice, and fateful decisions. 20. What Do You Want to Be, Prince? Yoon Soo, the successful author of a fantasy series, is pulled into her own story by Kite Einzen, the villain she created. Trapped in her nightmare, she must rewrite their fates to survive. Can she turn this tragedy into a happy ending? A creative manhwa full of surprises and a world that comes alive. 21. I Will Surrender My Position as the Empress. What would you do if, on your wedding day, you realized your husband didn't care about you at all? Adele, forced to marry Emperor Karl, endures humiliation after humiliation, from a concubine who brags about knowing the emperor's preferences to a wedding where he doesn't even show up on time. But everything changes when the towering Duke Lionel, commander of the Imperial Guard, appears unexpectedly. This is a love story about finding the perfect ending for a woman who has always lived by duty and never known real love. 22. Survive as the hero's wife. Canaria is reborn as the villainess in a classic romance novel. Her fate seems sealed, execution. But this time, she's determined to rewrite her story. Using her wit and charm, she'll do whatever it takes to survive in a world stacked against her. Can she break free from the chains of destiny and create her own path? Find out in this thrilling tale. 23. I have become a crow. After a tragic accident, Yoja wakes up as a crow inside a game she used to play. Terrified but determined, she finds the injured crown prince, Kamet, and helps him with food and herbs. As their quirky friendship blossoms, Yoju undergoes a magical transformation from a simple bird to a human. This enchanting story takes you on a heartfelt journey through a world full of surprises. 24. The Song of Theodore. A bond formed in childhood between Princess Sienna and the hostage Prince Liu is put to the ultimate test when war breaks out between their three kingdoms. With the young Emperor Nia watching from the shadows, they must choose between their love and their duty. Can the music of their hearts overcome the chaos of war? This epic story of love, betrayal, and battle is one you won't want to miss. 25. The princess is going on strike. After a life filled with humiliation and betrayal, Errol goes back in time with a new resolve. With a spotless face and a renewed spirit, the illegitimate princess decides to go on strike, rejecting the family that used and condemned her. A gripping tale of revenge, empowerment, and resilience that will hook you from the very first chapter. 26. When I Stopped Being Your Shadow. Anise spent years living in the shadow of her husband Ryan, a painter who used her talent to achieve fame. But when she discovers his betrayal and faces the threat of being institutionalized, an accident sends her back in time. This time, Anise is determined to reveal the truth and claim the recognition she's always deserved. A story of courage, talent, and justice. 27. How to Prey on the Master. After breaking off her engagement at a party, Nightron meets Theodore, a man known for his fiery temper. But why is this mad dog suddenly so polite and kind to her? A story of unexpected encounters, mixed emotions, and a journey that defies expectations. With a perfect blend of comedy and romance, dive into this tale where you'll fall in love with every character. 28. Dr. Elise. Song Jihyun, determined to atone for her past life's sins, mastered the art of surgery. Despite her dedication, a tragic plane crash ends her life. Or does it? This gripping story of redemption and second chances will keep you hooked as Elise navigates her new reality. 29. Mending the Barbaric Prince's Wounds. Prim, a nurse reincarnated into a noble's daughter, carries her passion for saving lives into her new world. When she's betrothed to Aster, the cruel and despised prince of Atid, she sees through his bloodied exterior to the loneliness in his eyes. Determined to heal his hidden wounds, Prim begins her life as his fiancé. But as their bond grows, she starts to notice something deeper. A heartfelt tale of compassion, romance, and transformation. 30. May God bless your demise. Angie lives a peaceful life reading and embroidering on Cullinan Island until she's chosen as the companion of Kylek, the mysterious heir of House Blackwell. As their connection deepens, extraordinary events unravel the long-hidden secret of the island. Can Angie face the truth and still hold on to love? A captivating mix of mystery, romance, and secrets. 31. Running Away at Night. Lillian finds herself in the body of the wife of Carlisle, the unhinged Grand Duke from the novel The Queen's Cage, who kills his spouse out of love. But the Carlisle she meets is just a young, innocent boy. Determined to raise him into a kind protagonist instead of a ruthless maniac, Lillian pours her heart into guiding him. Her plan? Hand him over to the heroine and disappear. But why does Carlisle keep chasing her instead? A surprising and emotional twist on a classic trope. 32. After the frozen heart melts. Hestia sacrificed herself to stop a mana surge that threatened the world. Reborn as Cecilia, the illegitimate daughter of Beck, she's done living as a pawn. But when her sister's fiancé, Archduke Killian Jennixon, suddenly declares he'll marry Cecilia instead. Memories of her past life resurface. His obsession mirrors someone from her past. Can Cecilia heal old wounds and find true love? A poignant story of redemption and romance. 33. More Than You Know. Arwen, reincarnated as a vulnerable girl in an abusive family within a fantasy novel, knows the male lead, Shelby, is destined for happiness. But seeing his current suffering, she can't stand by. By reaching out to help, she risks unraveling the original story. Will her kindness change their fates? A touching manhwa about compassion and defying destiny. 34. The Villainess Wants to Go Home. Possessed as Aston, the villainess and friend of Harrow and Lily, our protagonist decides to vanish from Lily's life to ensure her happy ending. But when the male lead, Lijun, tracks her down with sad eyes, begging her not to leave, everything changes. "I'll help you return home," he says, stirring unfamiliar relief in her heart. A moving story of friendship, sacrifice, and unexpected bonds. 35. What the Evil Dragon Lives For. Elaine, offered as a sacrifice to the malevolent dragon Laves, begs to live, wanting to see more of the world. To her shock, Laves grants her 3 wishes and sends her back 10 years to when she was 16. But the dragon has his own plans. A thrilling tale of survival, time travel, and a dragon with hidden motives. 36. Lock Me Up, Duke. Jaina dreams of a life of leisure, lounging in bed with no responsibilities. Her goal? A perfect imprisoned ending where she can eat, play, and stay cozy. To achieve this, she approaches the Grand Duke's rider, aiming to charm the male lead just enough for a comfy confinement. But her blunt words and monster-taming antics spiral out of control, turning the obsessive male lead into a clingy, innocent suitor. "Why can't you love me instead of your brother?" he pleads. A hilarious and chaotic manhwa that defies expectations. 37. The Villain Is My Admirer. Charlene, a PR queen by day and novel enthusiast by night, feels for the villainous Prince Anthony. Waking up as his childhood companion in her favorite novel, she uses her wits to change his fate and hers. But her efforts turn the sweet, gentle prince into a wolfish figure obsessed with her. Did she raise him too well? A delightful mix of romance, humor, and a plot gone wonderfully wrong. 38. Beware of the Villainess. Can you imagine waking up in the body of the villainess from your favorite novel? But instead of suffering, you decide it's the perfect chance to live life to the fullest. That's exactly what happens to our protagonist, a bold, wealthy duchess who plays by her own rules. When she finds out her fiancé, the crown prince, is a backstabbing jerk, there's no crying or drama. Just an epic response you can't miss. If you love strong, take no crap heroines, this one's for you. 39. Kill the Villainess. Picture this. You wake up in the body of a villainess you didn't even want to be. That's the predicament heiress Mysarian finds herself in. All she wants is to go back to her real life, flawed as it may be. But in a fictional world with its own plans, can she escape the fate forced upon her? Dive into this story filled with desperation, magic, and second chances. 40. To help you understand what it means to be you. A dream wedding turned nightmare. That's the life of Princess Violet. After 3 years of a cold, painful marriage, things take a wild turn when, just as she's about to collapse, she swaps bodies with her icy husband. Is this their chance to finally understand each other? Or will it make things worse? Don't miss this drama-packed story of redemption and surprises. 41. The Circumstances of the Villainess. Waking up as the villainess in a romance novel leaves you with 2 choices: accept your fate, or fight tooth and nail to change it. Our protagonist chooses the latter. But even after fixing all her mistakes, things still get messy, especially when the heroine's fiancé won't leave her alone. Explore this captivating tale of romance, intrigue, and survival. 42. I Became the Hero's Rival. What would you do if you suddenly found yourself at the center of a feud between the crown prince, a dangerously charming duke, and a terrifying knight? Irene never asked for this chaos, but now she's caught in a whirlwind of obsession, jealousy, and out-of-control emotions. All because her best friend, the protagonist, prefers her over her suitors. This one's a wild mix of intrigue, romance, and pure chaos. 43. Where the villain's loyalty lies. Charlotte was once devoted to the Emperor, but all she got in return was betrayal. Now, she's left with loneliness and a reputation as a wicked woman. One day, imprisoned and awaiting death, a mysterious man appears before her with an unbelievable proposal. 44. A kind goblin's bird. A man hides his true identity behind a goblin mask, and a woman sings songs fueled by vengeance. Their fates intertwine in a tragic, deeply emotional romance full of mystery. Can they find solace in a world of secrets and pain? This beautiful story is sure to tug at your heartstrings. And that's all for today. I'll be uploading new recommendations soon. Until then, take care, and thank you for watching.